So coming up next, Beacon Protocol is an open specification that creates a common language for interoperability among different digital platforms and networks. FIDE, the Foundation for Interoperability in Digital Economy, is the author of Beacon Protocol specification. We have Ravi Prakash, Head of Architecture and Technology Ecosystem at FIDE, for the keynote titled Intersection of AI and Open Networks, Opportunity for India.
Okay, so I have been given only 15 minutes, so I am going to thank you. Great. So for those who don't know me, my name is Ravi Prakash. I work at a organization, not-for-profit foundation called Foundation for Interoperability in Digital Economy. I know it's quite a mouthful. You can just call us FIDE. I'm the co-author of Beacon Protocol, the technology which is currently powering several, large-scale DPIs today, like Namaya 3, ONDC, Honest, and the latest, which is the Unified Energy Interface. So today we are going to talk about the intersection of AI and open networks and how sort of these two, uh, relatively new worlds sort of, how do they, amalgamate and how it presents a whole new range of possibilities for, new startups, existing startups, and big tech firms as well. Uh, so, uh, trade has been there since for literally hundreds and thousands of years, right? All the way since barter system where I had something, you had something, and we could just exchange whatever we want, all the way till trading on futures and options, and people losing millions of dollars, right? So yeah, so but it has been the bedrock, it has been the foundation, the driving force between the evolution of our civilization from hunter gatherers all the way till you know investment bankers, right? So so trade is fundamentally rooted in our society, right? Exchange of goods and services. So today we are going to talk about how that sort of applies in this how that is applicable in the world of AI today. But before that, let me ask you a few questions. I mean, this is just like a quick teaser to what we are going to discuss today. Can you take an AI to court? Let's say you talked.
Yes, if you're in China.
Probably. Uh, so I mean, the idea is let's say if I were to use an AI agent today to order, let's say, food, and I said, "Hey, I'm really hungry. I could really eat a horse," and let's say that AI orders a horse for you, right? It's a little exaggerating. It's probably not going to do that, but the idea is that even if it does, or let's say if it hires a person to hunt a horse and bring it to you, right? There are multiple routes to fulfilling your purpose. How does an AI sort of realize what is right, what is wrong, what is within commercial laws, what is allowed in a particular region? Am I being, is an AI collecting private data? Is it not? How is it operating within the? How is it understanding the essence of a contract between two people in an unambiguous way, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So just to understand how we got here, right? So there is a new wave of technologies termed as digital public infrastructures that is you know increasingly rapidly sort of gathering global attention, and we are today at the third generation of digital public infrastructure. It sort of started off with the creation of Aadhaar, then all the way till UPI, using Aadhaar to do direct benefit transfer, and now we are in the third generation of digital public infrastructures. The most prominent of them being open networks, right? Open networks, or in more technical terms, protocol enabled transaction networks, right? The most prominent of those open networks is ONDC. I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about that today. So what does it all mean, right? Today, sorry, should I pick up the call? Can thank you. Yep. Okay, so today, if you look at the industry today, right, almost every industry is dependent upon some of the other industry, right? Like, let's say if I'm a car manufacturer, I need to procure materials, I need to procure skills, I need to procure, builders to help manufacture my factory. So sort of every industry in a way needs the input of any industry sort of needs the output of every other industry, right? But when it comes to solving any industrial problem at scale, we the approach till today has been to look at that problem through a very small lens, right? How do I optimize for supply chain? How do I increase the quality of manufacturing? So is the I mean, but to solve such problems at global scale, we have to really zoom out and look at the whole industry under one unifying framework, right? So until today, right, there has each of these problems were solved in pockets, and now we have a way to sort of unify all of these industries on a common framework. That's where we have backend. Backend is nothing but it's just a protocol like HTTP or TCP/IP that sort of allows various applications to talk to each other. It's just that it is not for sending information; it is for transactions, right? To really help you understand what it really means is, like, today, if I ask you, can you search for a packet of bread on the internet today? Let's say if you go and type bread or eggs or milk on the browser today, what happens? Mostly Google opens up for the first time to help you discover the websites that will sell you, or the platforms that will actually help you sell bread. Could be Instamart, could be Amazon, or or whatever. But is it possible to natively search for a packet of bread on the internet itself? Does the browser itself tell you, hey, there is a seller nearby which that can sell you bread, eggs, and milk at the same time? No, we don't. We are siloed, we are funneled into specific platforms that help us match the demand and supply, like Amazons and the Ubers and the Airbnbs of the world, right? So backend fundamentally reimagines, saying that, hey, is there a way where I can directly connect to a platform through whatever application of my choice, and transact with it? Meaning, transacting meaning, can I discover products? Can I negotiate pricing? Can I negotiate the terms of service, and then can I actually place an order, track its fulfillment, contact support rate, and everything? Today, all of those services are provided by specific applications. What backend really tries to do is, it tries to bake this transactability into the fabric of the internet itself, so that any application today becomes potentially an e-commerce application, which means that I could be on WhatsApp, and the seller could be on Instamart or Flipkart for that matter, and I could use WhatsApp to order groceries, or I could use WhatsApp to, or I could use Google Maps to order a cab, right? Technically, if all of these services are all on one common transaction fabric, all speaking a common language, a protocol, technically I could now combinatorially create lots of products, lots of various products and services. Like, for example, I could order a cab, order a coffee, get that coffee delivered on my way in my cab. All of these things can be now possible if transactability is baked into the architecture of the internet itself, right? Something that current platforms don't provide, unless and until you have complicated one-to-one integrations, etc. So such a simple idea was envisioned around 4 years ago, and that has resulted in several breakthroughs in the area of in pretty popular areas like mobility. Namayatri, which in fact Namayatri originally was called Yatri and started in Kerala, in the city of Kochi, where it started off as a very small open network powered by a backend protocol called the Kochi Open Mobility Network, now which has become part of the larger open network for digital commerce, and also has now evolved into the Namayatri, which is operating in around 6 cities right now. And as of April 24th, it has around 5.8 million registered users, and almost 34 million rides completed, faster than any aggregator, sort of ride aggregator that has ever existed in India. And now I think in several cities now cabs have also started. So almost there has been a massive shift in the rides from existing players like Uber and Ola all the way till Namayatri, because the centralized intermediary who was collecting 30%, 40% commission is now no longer there. The money goes directly from the consumer to the driver, right? Similarly, ONDC is an open network for retail and logistics transactions, now financial services as well. Namayatri and ONDC also have now become part of a common network because they are essentially speaking the same language, the same protocol. They are in a sense interoperable with each other, which means a user on Paytm can potentially book a driver on Namayatri today right now. Okay, so we covered this, so I'm going to just quickly jump through this. So it's technically what backend introduces into the internet is it allows programmability in commerce, right? Which means that you can use backend protocol to programmatically create and execute contracts between any two participants on the internet. Till today, all of these contracts were static. There was only a certain way you can book a cab, there's only a certain way you can order groceries. But today you can mix and match all of these, where I can actually order a cab which also has additional food, let's say a welcome drink when I enter the cab, right? So it allows for programmability into contracts itself. That's allows for like completely new products and new services to be built, right? It's and Just to sort of clear, it is not a technology, it's not a platform, it's not blockchain. It is just a bunch of specifications, there's a bunch of documents. The whole entirety of backend protocol is within a few pages of documents, which when implemented allows any two applications to talk to each other through backend protocol. This is the sort of architectural shift that we are imagining. Today, we have platforms that connect buyers and sellers. And from there, we shift from, a completely two-sided, decentralized, I would say, federated architecture where the buyer and seller don't have to be on the same platform. This is actually not new. This already exists today in the form of emails. You could be on Yahoo, I could be on Gmail, but we can still talk to each other. In fact, even do business with each other. I could be on Vodafone, you could be on Airtel, we can still talk to each other and do business with each other. This is the same principles on which the internet was designed. We have sort of brought it back into the commercial landscape, and this is how, and we have tried to, sort of reimagine how commerce is done today, right? So these are some of the sort of latest news snippets on how open networks are now rapidly transforming, especially the Indian landscape on how commerce is happening. Uh, there are several other projects, not just in India, but Belem recently has launched an open network for skilling and education. There is a unified energy interface which is purely for energy trading, energy storage, EV charging, energy warehousing, and peer-to-peer sort of energy exchanges as well. Technically, using UEI, you can you can charge your vehicle through a green energy source, right, which is located at a different at a different location previously, which was never been done, at a cost which is lower than the grid itself, right? There are similar networks in Gambia, in the US, and in Brazil and other places as well. Europe, in recently there was a open network that was very similar to ONDC, which was launched in Amsterdam, called the Open Amsterdam Networks. So as you can see, the same technology is being sort of implemented in multiple regions with multiple sectors, and all of them are interoperable. That's the most important thing to know over here. Think of them as sort of I'm just going to forward here. Think of all of these networks as sort of pieces of a larger global puzzle. When all of them sort of are implemented, you have this global transactable network as a very thin layer on top of the existing internet, where any application can just plug in and start doing business with any other application without the need of centralized aggregators and intermediaries and commissions, etc. Right? Parallelly, another paradigm is emerging. I think that's the topic of today, which is AI, right? And if any of you follows Gates Notes, Gates recently published an article on AI agents. It says that if your friend just had surgery, your agent will offer to not just send flowers and actually be able to order those flowers and get them delivered to your friend, right? So AI agents are now becoming increasingly important and crucial to not just provide information, because we are moving from an age of AI information to AI transactions, right? A paradigm which we are calling right now as transactional AI. where AI agents will not only be able to give you information, but it actually be able to execute that information. For example, if I wanted to learn how to bake a cake today, ChatGPT will be able to give me a very nice recipe for a cake. But if I really wanted a yummy cake, it needs to actually order the flours, order the eggs, and order the sugar and the milk and everything, and to actually bring them and get them delivered in a really reliable, secure mode, instead of as I said earlier, ordering horses, right? So that's what AI agents are now poised to present, but they do have a certain problem, because today one of the major problems in generative AI is hallucinations. Even if we reduce hallucinations to a minimum, there is a fundamental need when it comes to transactability. There's a fundamental need for, even if there are two AI agents talking to each other, there is a need for these AI agents to view the contract in an unambiguous manner, right? Both the parties who are doing business with each other need to understand the terms and conditions of the contract, and also execute that contract within commercial laws, which means AI not just needs to be aware of the intricacies of a contract, but also intricacies of commercial laws that it's operating in, privacy laws that it's operating in, to make sure that the transactions executed in a safe, secure, and reliable manner. That is why a contracting infrastructure like an open network, it becomes extremely crucial for AI agents to operate on behalf of humans. As I said, you cannot take an AI to court, because just I think Abhinav had recently mentioned that it's garbage in, garbage out, which means that if 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 AI produces let's say an output or an image, or does a fraudulent transaction on your behalf, it is not fair to take the creator of the AI to court, because that's how AIs work. That's how AIs are trained, right? It's unpredictable. There is a certain level to which you can predict, but beyond that, predictability goes out of the window, because it really depends upon what sort of input you're giving to the AI. Which means the only way you can sort of absolutely prevent AI from doing any sort of unwanted transactions or fraudulent transactions is that if there is a commerce layer on the internet itself, which prevents the AI from doing one type of transaction over the other, right? AI agents will continue to hallucinate and will keep on creating problems, and this becomes a serious problem when it comes to commercial contracts, right? That is a hindrance over here. So that's the sort of point that I was trying to make over here, right? Can AI actually transact on behalf of humans in an unambiguous, secure, reliable, and trusted manner? That's where we introduce backend to the power of AI, where AI is supercharging backend protocol by adding an experience layer on top of on open network layer as well, right? So in a nutshell, assume that there are a bunch of AI agents on both sides which are all talking to each other. The AI agent understands backend protocol. It has been programmed to understand the language of transactions, which means that when AI and backend together, the backend protocol enables trusted transactions to take place. It massively reduces the coordination cost, because you don't need to do one-to-one integrations with various business, because they are all speaking the same language. And since backend protocol also allows for programmable policies to be transmitted, right, machine readable policies to be transmitted between participants, the AI can actually be used. It allows for policies to be understood by two parties in an unambiguous way. On the other side, artificial intelligence leveraging these powers of open networks can allow for purpose-centric discovery. This is a extremely tremendously new concept, where today, if I want to do something, I need to know what I want, right? For example, today, I mean, when we were kids, we always used to dream about, let's say, I want to become a pilot, I want to become an astronaut, but we never knew how to become an astronaut. Probably we don't even know right now, right? Because we don't know what is the career path I need to take, what I need to learn, who I need to talk to, what is the kind of books I need to purchase to actually make sure that I'm qualified enough to even apply for for a space program, right? But with open networks and AI can take care of crafting your entire career path, while open networks can help the AI discover and book and order whatever you need. For example, if I were a student with limited financial resources, I could actually use open networks to find the right mentor. The mentor could tell me what sort of books I need to purchase and what sort of courses I need to take, and the AI could actually discover financial aid on open networks like Honest to fund my education and sort of craft the path of least resistance for me, to become from where I am to becoming an astronaut, right? So the world is now, sorry, come again, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hmm. Hmm. Correct. No, so that is where the larger product and tech community needs to come in and start creating these very easy to use AI experiences. So the AI and the open networks only form part of the infrastructure. They are, think of them as roads, right? Think of them as substrates on which applications can plug in. But for somebody to actually craft a, let's say, a path of maximum profitability to buy, certain investments, or the path of least resistance to, get from here to a particular career goal, right? That's where product companies, that's the opportunity for product companies to actually leverage in, because now with the power of open networks and AI, you can do this in a reliable manner. Because if you are actually going, out of your way, if they say, let's say you're, if I want to manufacture a particular a rocket, but in Indian sort of, manufacture of rockets or manufacture of propulsions is actually governed by, explosive laws, right, in India. So if the AI is able to understand and interpret those laws, and the open network forms sort of that guardrails, the roads through which you can actually achieve what your goal is, you can prevent such hallucinations, or sort of, what do you say, differences in sort of, uh, uh, differences in how you are able to use the AI between two people. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
You're talking about building competence to a probabilistic generative model, right?
Not particularly. I'm saying that.
So how will you be able to, a contract as per se it has terms and you have to abide by it. So like let's say if I write a contract to send money to this guy,
Mhm.
the contract will like the counterparty and the first party will be knowing like what the money is, what a contract is, so and
Mhm.
so.
Mhm.
So that is competence, right?
No, so that is the part which the protocol manages, right?
Okay.
The protocol allows for contracts to be represented as machine readable code,
Okay.
right? And the AI just needs to orchestrate the contracts.
So, but like once you're orchestrating it, like you need to have like you need to build competence for this kind of solution,
Who's
right?
you?
Uh, the the open AIs and those kind of generating
No,
models.
no, no. OpenAI does not need to build the competitiveness over here. It is the users of OpenAI, whoever is, let's say, building open networks, whoever is building AI based SDKs or AI based applications. They are the ones who need to just, if you're, let's say, building a GPT, right? You just need to use the documentation of the protocol and the respective examples, all the various, use cases of protocol. You need to program that the AI to understand how various contracts are executed, and and how to translate like natural language into, backend protocol, and then the network takes care of it. Today right now, AI agents are that, if you make two AI agents talk to each other, there is a very high probability they may misunderstand each other, right? One AI agent may misunderstand the terms of a contract, or may understand the terms of a contract differently from another AI agent. But if you want an AI agent to unambiguously understand terms, it has to be translated into a machine readable code, which is basically that's the job of the protocol, basically, to translate whatever terms of the contract into the standardized, interactions or a standardized schema of backend protocol. That's the whole transaction infrastructure that is going to, take care of the execution of the contract.
Thank you.
So yeah, we covered this. So we are now moving from a world from AI generated information to AI generated transactions, right? So now this is something. This is a quick demo that we recently presented at the MIT Media Lab last month. This is a quick demo of how a WhatsApp, is used. Bot is used as an AI agent to help John, an avid, traveler, to get from Denver to Yellowstone. Am I? Is it audible? That's fine. I think it doesn't need, it does, it's just random background music. So as you can see, I don't know whether it's visible. It's pretty. I think we need to increase the quality of. Is this better? Or should I make it better even more? Okay. So John basically talks to his AI agent Alfred. This is a demo. The source code is live and on the backend GitHub repository. So he searches for places to use it to stay, and the network basically provides various options, right? And he selects one of them, and the Alfred, the AI agent, asks John to share his billing information. So John simply shares the billing information. Now it connects to the open network. It fetches the terms and the payment terms of from the hotel service provider, and it sort of places the order in front of him. Now, since he drives an EV, while he's driving, it also asks, Alfred. It provides Alfred the best route, and John selects a particular route, and it also locates all the EV chargers that are there on the way, right? So when John asks, it again connects to the open network and fetches all the EV chargers along. I'm just going to reduce the volume. Yeah. Right. So he has chosen the clean charge EV station. Again, he provides his billing details, and now it's going to place the order for him and sort of blocks that EV charger in advance. And when John confirms his order, it sort of blocks that EV charger slot along the way. Now, what happens is suddenly over the open network through the protocol, Alfred receives a notification from the EV charger provider that one of the chargers has malfunctioned. So Alfred says, "Okay, I'm going to find other chargers near you." So Alfred sort of self corrects this entire journey and finds another charger, and and John is able to block it, and and as usual he confirms his order. So all of this was a transaction that was orchestrated by an AI agent, and even the malfunction. I think we don't need to look at that. I think that's going to take a while. But what really happened was that the Alfred, the AI agent which John was talking to, it was able to detect and handle any specific exceptions that happened across the way, and it was able to course correct without John actually prompting him, right? So that's the power of AI agents. But and it relied on an open network infrastructure containing of hotel providers, EV charging providers, all of them who had implemented backend protocol. It's not necessary for the service providers to also have an AI agent on their end. Just one AI agent on one side is more than enough to sort of orchestrate an entire experience. But at a high level, this is how the architecture looks like. On one side we have consumers talking to various AI agents that have been created on existing platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Bhashini, etc. On the other side, there is also an option to have AI agents on the other side to sort of respond to requests coming over the open network. So that brings me to the last topic, right? How, given that there are two completely different paradigms, one as an infrastructure for transactions, another is an infrastructure for AI. How can these two sort of technologies merge together, and how can new opportunities arise for existing Indian companies and startups, right? So this is a very simplified sort of just a sneak peek into the possible building blocks that can be created using generative AI and open networks. So some of right off the bat, there are recommendation engines. For example, if I'm a tourist who have just visited a new place, like let's say Trivandrum, the AI can recommend various places, but also using backend protocol can also help us book the places. What are the places? What are the places I can buy souvenirs? What are the best places for food and stay and etc. SDK providers can have a big play over here, where they can wrap existing AI based frameworks and SDKs to sort of add a transactional component to it, right? Dynamic cataloging, where depending upon, instead of now the consumer asking what I want, the consumer can ask what I want to do, and the catalogs can be and a respective catalog can be returned on the basis of what the consumer wants, purely on the basis of natural language, right? Policy validations, depending upon what are the commercial laws, an AI agent can actually verify whether a transaction is allowed within local commercial laws or not. Orchestration engines, as I said, right, once you have, let's say, an intent, can an AI agent identify what sort of services and what sort of products do I need to sort of and orchestrate an entire outcome. Dispute resolution, customer support and grievance redressal is a very important thing, because today that's one of the places where there's a lot of operational cost involved, where there are and today I'm sure everybody has experienced bad bots, right, which try to help, which really don't help us in any way. I mean, this just acts as just like a programmatic way of providing support, but they don't really actually provide support over here. AI agents have a very powerful, role to play over here, where they can focus on actually solving the customer's problem than actually, repeating a bunch of FAQs. And natural language, obviously, India is a large and diverse country with hundreds of languages, and today most of the transacting platforms provide very limited language support to for customers to do business, right? So these are all the building blocks, and some of the products that could possibly build. I've just added some, a few of them. I think we are only limited by our imagination. Automotive infotainment systems or smart refrigerators, which sort of detect whether you are out of milk and immediately connect to the open network to place an order for you. AI enabled healthcare, maybe I'm standing in front of a BMI machine, it measures my BMI and orders, and automatically books the nearest dietitian for me, right? And career consulting, as I had spoken today, right? It can help a student to achieve their career goals. Now, all of this is addressing most of the problems of today and yesterday, but in a better and a different way, right? But as my friend Abhinav also told today, it's not. I mean, you can't ask AI to do 2 plus 3, right? These problems are still, can be solved through basic machine learning and algorithmic outputs. But where the real power of AI and open networks will really come to light is tackling the larger problems, which have thousands of intricate connections between various systems, whereas there are so many factors that are playing in to affect the current situation. For example, uh, energy transition, right? Energy transition is no small feat, right? Transitioning to green involves changing so many layers of our particular economy, so many production pipelines, so many policies, so many laws, and also the consumer's behavior as well, right? AI and open networks can actually help bridge the gap or reduce the cost of coordination, really, if you ask me, between to achieve such large term goals, right? Climate action or sustainability, right? Open networks for sustainability is a very hot topic that is currently being discussed. I mean, I would love to have longer discussions if you're interested. But open networks for sustainability almost involve, and sustainability, even circular economy for that matter, allow for large sets of large networks to coordinate with each other to allow achieve sustainability goals, or circular economy or regenerative agriculture, etc. So all of this requires, tackling large scale global scale problems requires at least a unifying framework in which all of these industries can be viewed under a common framework. That is where which it presents a massive opportunity for startups and IT companies to build these tiny building blocks, and to ultimately solve the global problems. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank Thank you so much. So, how UPI and Aadhaar changed our lives? Maybe this is a new way of thinking and that immense opportunity for startups. Thank you so much.